J.W. Williams Funeral Directors have been proudly serving the people of this community since 1918. Service is our motto. The poor, the rich, the middle class and all are given the best of care and attention at all times. You have the privilege to select what you want. In your time of need, contact the capable, the competent, and the dependable staff of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home who is genuinely concerned with your care. At J.W. Williams Funeral Home, you are aptly served by the proprietor, president, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, who continues the traditions and values set forth by the past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams. Your announcements for the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Sunday morning program are Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Reverend Isaac H. Owens, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, Minister Frankie Harmon, Miss Sandra Johnson, and Deacon Earl Clark, Jr.
Thank you, and good morning, friends. We come to you this morning to bring announcements, dedications, and songs. We certainly hope that your day may be brighter after listening to our program. The family of Evangelist Melda Wazet Bass of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mrs. Doretha Reese Whitehead of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mrs. Jeanette Lowe Morgan of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Miss Sonia Latron Green of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mrs. Louise Johnson Hill of Cordele, Georgia. Would like to thank their many friends for the food, the flowers, the condolences, and all other expressions of sympathy and kindness shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. Evangelist Melda Wazet Bass, age 69, of 307 West 20th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Thursday, September 11th, at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Evangelist Melda Wazet Bass, age 69, was held Sunday, September 21st, in the sanctuary of her beloved Straight Life Church of God Pentecostal in Cordele, Georgia. The pastor, Bishop Fred Williams, officiated. The burial followed at the Sunnyside Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted nieces, Ms. Wazitra LaFonza Adams and her husband, Mr. Brandon Adams, and Ms. Cinderella Bass, all of Cordele, Georgia. A beloved sister-in-law, Mrs. Leisha Bass of Cordele, Georgia. A host of beloved great-nieces, great-nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive Evangelist Melda Wazet Bass, age 69, of 307 West 20th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. Miss Doretha Reese Whitehead, age 73, of 812 West 27th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Saturday, September 20th, at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Miss Doretha Reese Whitehead, age 73, was held Friday, September 26th, in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. The Reverend Cecil Strawder, pastor of the Gethsemane Baptist Church in Cordele, Georgia, officiated. The burial followed at the Sunnyside Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her living and devoted companion, Mr. Leonard Patrick of Cordele, Georgia. Her living and devoted children, Miss Marsha Whitehead Atolaway of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Petra Patterson and her husband, Mr. Waverly Patterson of Beaufort, South Carolina, Miss Dewana Savage and her husband, Mr. Charles Savage of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Lenore Harriel and her husband, Mr. Lorraine Harriel of Jacksonville, Florida, and Miss Latricia Patrick of Cordele, Georgia. A host of beloved grandchildren and great-grandchildren, her beloved sisters, Miss Polly Thornton and Miss Sally B. Reese of Cordele, Georgia. A beloved brother, Mr. Arthur L. Reese, and his wife, Mrs. Denise Reese of Cordele, Georgia. A host of nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Miss Doretha Reese White. At the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Jeanette Lowe Morgan, age 72, was held Saturday, September 27th, in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. Elder Lamar Thomas, pastor of Unity Faith Ministry, officiated. The burial followed at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her living and devoted husband, Mr. Eddie Lee Morgan of Cordele, Georgia. A beloved sister, Mrs. Dorothy Williams, and her husband, Mr. David Williams of Cordele, Georgia. Her beloved brothers, Mr. Nathaniel Lowe and his wife, Mrs. Maggie Lowe, and Mr. Marvin Lowe and his wife, Mrs. Tippy Lowe, both of Pompano Beach, Florida. Mr. James Lowe and his wife, Mrs. Maxie Lowe of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Mr. Jerry Lowe Sr. of Cordele, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, and cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Mrs. Jeanette Lowe Morgan, age 72, of 1904 Chris Street, Cordele, Georgia. Miss Sonia Latron Green, age 50, of 2001 Turner Street, Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, September 16th, at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Miss Sonia Latron Green, age 50, was held Saturday, September 27th, in the sanctuary of the Mount Zion First African Baptist Church in Cordele, Georgia. The pastor, Dr. Dan James III, officiated. The burial followed at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted sisters, Mrs. Shamanika Sanders, Miss Erica Sanders, and Miss Alicia Blackburn, all of Cordele, Georgia. Her beloved and caring brothers, Mr. Jamaica Hentley and his wife, Mrs. Valencia Hentley of Centerville, Virginia, and Mr. Quan Clay of Cordele, Georgia. Her beloved aunts and uncles, Mother Mary Henderson, Mrs. Betty Peterson, Miss Shirley Green, Mr. Benjamin Green, Mr. Anthony Green and his wife, Mrs. Carolyn Green, Mr. Kent Green and his wife, Mrs. Lilia Green, Mr. Ricky Anderson Sr., Miss Mary Green, Mr. Benjamin Green, Mr. Ricky Anderson Sr., Mr. Steve Green and his wife, Mrs. Nikki Green, Mr. Eddie Green Jr., Mr. Zobe Smith, Mr. Eddie Steve Williams and his wife, Mrs. Melinda Williams, Mrs. Lakeisha Newsom, Mr. Demetrius Newsom and his wife, Mrs. Tasha Newsom, Miss Shelley Green, Mrs. Maritha Smith, Mrs. Arletha Kine, and Miss Audrey Smith, a special niece and nephew, Mrs. Jaela Sanders, and Mr. Jeremiah Rogers, a host of beloved cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Miss Sonia Latron Green, age 50, of 2001 Turner Street, Cordele, Georgia. Mrs. Louise Johnson Hill, age 82, of 1411 Flint Drive, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, September 22nd, at the Cordele Health and Rehabilitation Center in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Louise Johnson Hill, age 82, was held Saturday, September 27th, in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. The Reverend Donnie R. Hall Sr., pastor of the New Provisor Baptist Church, officiated. The burial followed at the Mount Olive Church Cemetery in Warwick, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted children, Pastor Michael Hill and his wife, co-pastor Peggy Hill of Ashburn, Georgia, Mrs. Lorraine Hill Harmon, and her husband, Mr. Ronnie Harmon of Cordele, Georgia. 12 beloved grandchildren, 13 great-grandchildren, her beloved sister, Mrs. Maybelle Menu of Cordele, Georgia, her beloved brothers, Mr. Lonnie Johnson, Mr. Columbus Johnson of Cordele, Georgia, and Mr. Herman Neely of Ashburn, Georgia. 6 beloved sisters-in-law, 5 brothers-in-law, a host of nieces, nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mrs. Louise Johnson Hill, age 82, of 1411 Flint Drive, Cordele, Georgia. Again, the family of Evangelist Melda Wazet Bass of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Miss Doretha Reese Whitehead of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Mrs. Jeanette Lowe Morgan of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Miss Sonia Latron Green of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Mrs. Louise Johnson Hill of Cordele, Georgia, would like to thank their many friends for all of the many kindnesses shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. May God bless each of you, is their prayer. The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors, serving Cordele and Vienna, were in charge of each of these arrangements during the past week. And now, it is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcement. 502 Sheffield Street, Americus, Georgia, died Sunday, July 21st, at his residence in Americus, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted wife, Mrs. Daphne James Limbrick of Americus, Georgia, his loving and devoted mother, Mrs. Pearline Perry Limbrick of Americus, Georgia, his loving and devoted children, Prophetess Demetrius Williams and her husband, Mr. Tamar Williams of Duluth, Georgia, Miss Andrea M. Limbrick of Covington, Georgia, Mr. Marcus Limbrick Jr. of Plains, Georgia, Mr. Nicholas J. James of Leslie, Georgia, and Miss Quasia Limbrick of Americus, Georgia. 9 beloved grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, 2 beloved sisters, Miss Deborah Limbrick and Miss Vicky Limbrick, a beloved brother, Mr. Christopher Limbrick, his mother-in-law, Mrs. Willie Mae James of Leslie, Georgia, a host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Deacon Marcus Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Deacon Marcus Christopher Limbrick, age 64, will be held today, Sunday, September 28th at 2 p.m. graveside at the Eastview Cemetery Pavilion in Americus, Georgia. His beloved daughter, Prophetess Demetrius Williams, will officiate. Mr. Hollis Douglas Sr., age 81, of 1420 Norris Street, Americus, Georgia, died Thursday, September 26th, at his residence in Americus, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted children, Mr. Hollis Douglas Jr. and Mr. Arthur Brooks Hollis, and Miss Teresa Cladd and her husband, Deacon Dexter Cladd, all of Americus, Georgia. 9 beloved grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, his beloved sisters, Miss Rita Ingram of Americus, Georgia, Mrs. Sharon Montague and her husband, Mr. Fonza Montague of Upper Maryland, Mrs. Patricia Spidley and her husband, Mr. Joe Spidley of South Carolina, his caring brothers, Mr. Andrew Monson and his wife, Mrs. Mae Monson of Conyers, Georgia, Mr. Lonnie Monson and Mr. Terrell Ingram and his wife, Mrs. Edith Ingram, both of Americus, Georgia, Mr. Joe Ingram and his wife, Mrs. Karen Ingram of California, Mr. Carl Douglas and his wife, Mrs. Beatrice Douglas of Texas, and Mr. Reginald Douglas of Detroit, Michigan. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Hollis Douglas Sr., age 81, of 1420 Norris Street, Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Hollis Douglas Sr., age 81, will be held on Thursday, October 2nd at 1 p.m. in the sanctuary of the Antioch Baptist Church in Americus, Georgia. The pastor, Reverend Ricky Cladd, will officiate. The burial will follow at the Eastview Cemetery in Americus, Georgia. The public visitation will be on Wednesday, October 1st, from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Alexander Demetrius Carter, age 55, of 227 Pine Street, Atlanta, Georgia, died Sunday, September 21st at the Piedmont Atlanta Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted children, Mr. Cameron Carter and Mrs. Alexis Carter Mitchell, and her husband, Mr. Tyrone Mitchell, both of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Keisha Carter and Miss Leara Carter Gates, and her husband, Mr. Kenneth Gates, and Mr. Monquarius Carter, all of Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. Ethan Carter, Monroe, Georgia. Two beloved grandchildren, a beloved sister, Miss Valencia Royal, and her husband, Mr. Frederick Royal, of Perry, Georgia. A beloved brother, Mr. Derek Carter of Cordele, Georgia. His loving aunts and uncles, Mrs. Barbara Roberts, Miss Shirley Epps, Miss Rosa Epps, Miss Dewana Epps, Mrs. Elnora Montfrey, Mr. Willie Carter, Mr. Joseph Carter, Mrs. Brenda Faye Finn and her husband, Mr. Bobby Finn, Pastor Vilene Ray and her husband, Mr. Robert Ray, Miss Kathy Massey, Miss Doretha Collins and her husband, Mr. Ralph Collins, Mr. Roosevelt Carter and his wife, Mrs. Sharon Carter, Mr. F.D. Lawton, Mr. Roman Epps, Mr. Sammy Epps Jr., and Mr. Irvin Epps Lawton, a host of beloved cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Alexander Demetrius Carter, age 55, of 227 Pine Street, Atlanta. Alexander Demetrius Carter, age 55, will be held on Saturday, October 4th at 10 a.m. in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia, with the minister selected officiating. The burial will follow at the Federal Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public visitation will be Friday, October 3rd from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Dwayne Hardeman Sr., age 48, of 306 West 17th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Wednesday, September 24th at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted children, Mr. Courtney Reese, Mr. Zabrian Reese, Mr. Dwayne Hardeman Jr., Mr. Kentavious Hardeman and his wife, Mrs. Jaleesa Hardeman, Mr. Kente Hardeman, Mr. D'Angelo Hardeman, and Miss Shanika Hardeman, all of Cordele, Georgia. His beloved and devoted sisters, Mrs. Evelyn Ross and her husband, Mr. Ronald Ross of Macon, Georgia, Mrs. Ruby Ross and her husband, Mr. Charlie Ross, Miss Deshelle Davis and Miss Shaquilla Mapp, all of Cordele, Georgia. A beloved brother, the Reverend Reginald Hardeman and his wife, Mrs. Annie Ruth Hardeman of Cordele, Georgia. His beloved aunts and uncles, Mr. William Dixon and Miss Leela Rogers and her husband, Mr. Cecil Rogers, both of Cordele, Georgia. Mr. Larry Henderson of Columbus, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Dwayne Hardeman Sr., age 48, of 306 West 17th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Dwayne Hardeman Sr., age 48, will be held Saturday, October 4th at 1 p.m. in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. The Reverend Isaac H. Owens, pastor of the Mount Calvary Baptist Church, will officiate. The burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public visitation will be Friday, October 3rd from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Jacarius LeSavion Finn, age 23, of Killeen, Texas, formerly of Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, September 23rd. Survivors include his loving and devoted mother, Miss Tanina Finley, and her husband, Mr. Tante Finley, his beloved and devoted father, Mr. Christopher Bernard Finn, his loving sibling, Mr. Kamari Finn, Mr. Zanair Finn, Mr. Zion Adams, Miss Mr. Finley Finn, Mr. Giardis Hessel, Mrs. Shala Finn, Miss Keonche Montague, Mr. Oxy Finn, a host of aunts, uncles, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends, to include his special friends, Mr. Mike Thomas, Mr. Willie Reed, Mr. Renato Sanchez, survived Mr. Jaquarius LeSavion Finn, age 23, of Killeen, Texas, formerly of Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Jaquarius LeSavion Finn, age 23, will be held Saturday, October 4th at 4 p.m. in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. With the minister selected officiating, the burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public visitation will be Friday, October 3rd from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Bobby Lee Kelly, age 63, of 1121 East 8th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, September 15th at Atrium Health, Navison in Macon, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Bobby Lee Kelly, age 63, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Oscar Charles Green, age 71, of Bentonville, Arkansas, formerly of Cordele, Georgia, died Saturday, September 27th at St. Luke Hospital in Kansas City, Missouri. Survivors include his loving and devoted wife, Mrs. Mary Ann Green of Bentonville, Arkansas, his loving and devoted children, Miss Raphael Green of Cordele, Georgia, Mrs. Carletta Cleveland and her husband, Mr. Ricky Cleveland of Shreveport, Louisiana, a beloved grandson, Mr. Marquis Bradley of Nashville, Tennessee, his loving and devoted sibling, Mrs. Gradine Ford, and her husband, Deacon Tommy Ford Jr., Mrs. Verdell Doster, Miss Patricia Green, Miss Mary Fletcher, Deacon Winford Green and his wife, Mrs. Brenda Green, all of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Deborah West and her husband, Mr. Ronnie West of Pineview, Georgia, Miss Lenora Green, Miss Rena Harvey, and Mr. Carl Harvey, all of Cordele, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Oscar Charles Green, age 71, of Bentonville, Arkansas, formerly of Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Oscar Charles Green, age 71, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors, serving Cordele and Vienna, are in charge of each of these arrangements during this week. Friends, that conclude our funeral notices for this morning. And as always, we do remind each of you concerning our pre-funeral arrangements planning available at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home, with packages available with a single pay, a 3-year pay, a 5-year pay, and a 10-year pay. So please stop by and talk with us concerning your pre-funeral arrangements needs available at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home.
And now for announcements. The 146th church anniversary of the Big Poplar Spring Baptist Church will be observed today, Sunday, September 28th, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. The Mount Air Baptist Church of Pastor John Day will be in charge of the service. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Sister LaChina Whitehead is the secretary. Deacon Wilbur Whitehead Jr. is the chairman of deacons. Reverend Lucius Albritton Jr. is the pastor. The New Poplar Spring Baptist Church of Byronville invites everyone to worship with them today. Services begin at 9:45 a.m. You may also join them each Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. via conference call for morning prayer, and at 7 o'clock p.m. for an hour of encouragement. The dial-in number for each of these calls are 253-993-3761. Again, that number is 253-993-3761. Pastor Teacher Johnny Dean is the pastor. The Mount Zion Weston Baptist Church of Preston, Georgia, Family, Friends, and Guest Day service will be observed today, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. The pastor, Reverend Dan Shealy, will deliver the message, and everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Sister Eva Thomas is the secretary. Reverend Dan Shealy is the pastor. The New St. Paul Baptist Church of America's annual Men and Women's Day program will be held on Sunday, October the 5th, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. Sister Rosemary Jones of the New Beulah Baptist Church will be the guest speaker. Unity colors are pink and white. Deacon Wilbur Sims is the chairman. Reverend Michael Walker is the pastor. The Zion Hope Baptist Church of America's 149th church anniversary and the first anniversary of its pastor, Reverend Wesley Ashton, will begin on Tuesday, October 7th through Thursday, October 9th at 7 o'clock p.m. Our program will be Tuesday, St. Matthew's Baptist Church of Dawson, New Point Baptist Church of Arlington, and Pastor Charlie Marcus. Wednesday, the Mount Calvary Baptist Church of Cordele and Reverend Isaac H. Owens. Thursday, New Shady Grove Baptist Church of Leslie, the Greater New Bethel Baptist Church of Sumner, Georgia, and Pastor Terrell Carter. The anniversary will climax on Sunday, October the 12th at 10 o'clock a.m. Evangelist Sarah Dice will deliver the message, and dinner will be served. Sister Bernice Wiley is the church mother. Deacon Homer Bell is the vice chairman of deacons. Deacon James Cooper is the chairman. Reverend Wesley Ashton, pastor, teacher. New Life Church of Smithfield ordination and installation service for Pastor-elect Johnny O. Hosley will be observed on Sunday, October the 19th at 1:30 p.m. A dinner reception will be held immediately following the ceremony at the Leslie Civic Center. To reserve a seat, you may text 229-395-9557. Again, that number is 229-395-9557. Pastor-elect Johnny O. Hosley is the pastor. The Spring Hill Baptist Church of Cordele annual revival will climax today, Sunday, September 28th, at 1:30 p.m., homecoming service will be observed. The beautiful Zion Baptist Church and Reverend Lorinda Ray will be in charge of the service. Sister Easter Patrick is the secretary. Mother Lily Mathis is the church mother. Deacon Eddie Byron, chairman of deacons. Dr. Eddie Talbert is the pastor. The Beulah Land Baptist Church Male Choir 13th anniversary will be observed today, Sunday, September 28th, beginning at 2 o'clock p.m. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Deacon Jesse Quarterman, Male Choir President. Deacon Willie Smith, Chairman of Deacons. Dr. Dwayne Daniels is the pastor. The Allen Temple AME Church will host Crisp County speakers, and they invite each of us to come as they will be talking about the issues of pressing issues, real solutions, featuring gubernatorial candidate State Representative Derek Jackson. This will be held on Tuesday, September 30th at 6 o'clock p.m. It will be moderated by Ms. Melissa Dunlap, Wealth and Retirement Specialist. Refreshments will be served. Reverend Robert Angrish Sr. is the pastor. The Mount Moriah Baptist Church of Warwick will have an ordination of installation for deacon for Brother William Madison on Sunday, October 5th at 1 o'clock p.m. Reverend Terrell Carter will give the charge. Deacon Sammy McGill is the chairman. Reverend Ivory Corbin is the pastor. The Glory Bound Gospel Singers will celebrate their 30th anniversary on Sunday, October the 12th at 4 o'clock p.m. at the Worth County Community Center in Sylvester, Georgia. On program will be Changed, Truly Blessed, Provision, the Leonard Brothers. Tickets are on sale now, and you may contact Deacon Kelly Parham at 229-699-0578. Reverend Douglas Parham at 229-699-0216. Or Brother Jolanda Dixon at 229-364-4719. The Zion Hope Baptist Church of Cordele will celebrate the 10th anniversary of its pastor, Reverend Willie Felton, and First Lady Linda Felton, beginning on Thursday, October 23rd at 7 o'clock p.m. The Greater New Bethel Baptist Church and Pastor Reverend Terrell Carter will be in charge of the service. The anniversary will climax on Sunday, October 26th at 2 o'clock p.m. with the Beulah Land Baptist Church and Dr. Dwayne Daniels in charge of the service. Everyone is invited to attend. Mother Elaine Bryant, church mother. Deacon Xavier Bryant is chairman of deacons. Reverend Willie James Felton is the pastor. You're invited to worship at the Greater Mars Tabernacle Baptist Church today. Worship service begins with Sunday school at 9 o'clock a.m. The worship service will begin at 9:30 a.m. Mother Mary Henderson, church mother. Deacon Arthur L. Parker, chairman of deacons. Dr. K.M. Williams is the pastor. The Gethsemane Baptist Church extends a cordial invitation for you to worship with them today. Services begin at 10:30 a.m. Deacon Johnny Wilson, chairman of deacons. Reverend Cecil Strawder is the pastor. The New Oak Grove Baptist Church invites everyone to worship with them each Sunday for Sunday school beginning at 9:15 a.m. Worship service at 10 o'clock a.m. Deacon Alonzo Jones is the chairman. Reverend W.W. Wilson is the pastor. The Greater Gum Creek Baptist Church invites you to worship with them this morning. Services begin at 10:30 a.m. Mother Norma Solomon, church mother. Deacon Zachary Fields, chairman of deacons. Reverend Joseph Hagerbrook is the pastor. The beautiful Zion Baptist Church extends a cordial invitation for you to worship with them today. Worship service begins at 11 o'clock a.m. Reverend Lorinda Ray is the pastor. The The Zion Hope Baptist Church invites everyone to worship with them each second and fourth Sunday. Sunday school at 10:30 a.m., worship service at 11:30 a.m. Deacon Xavier Bryant Sr. is the chairman of deacons. Reverend Willie James Felton is the pastor. You're cordially invited to worship with the Emmanuel Baptist Church today. Sunday school at 10 o'clock a.m., worship service at 11:15 a.m. Bible study is held each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Mother Willeen McGill, church mother, Reverend Gregory Williams, is the pastor. The New St. Stephen's Church extends a cordial invitation for everyone to worship with them. Services begin at 11 o'clock a.m. Dr. Frankie Harmon is the pastor. You have a cordial invitation to worship at the Mount Calvary Baptist Church today. Sunday school begins at 9:30 a.m., worship service at 10:45 a.m. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Mother Evelyn Lewis, church mother, Deacon Leon Spears, chairman of deacons, Reverend Isaac Owens is the pastor. Again, at this time, we'd like to encourage each of you to make sure that you please take the opportunity to check your voting credentials for the upcoming election that will be coming up in November. Please take the opportunity to go to your voters page if you have internet access, or make a phone call to our local election office to make sure that your name and all of your information is correct on your voting information. We have experienced and have heard of issues where people have been having issues with that, but we encourage each of you to do that. Remember that the last day to register to vote is October the 6th. Also, at this time, if you are not able to get out to the polls for early voting or to vote on election day, you may request an absentee ballot. Please make sure you take the opportunity to do that. Do it early so that you may get your ballot back in time. Remember that election is coming up, and early voting will begin on October 14th and will continue through for the next 2 weeks, and then election day will be on November 4th. Please take advantage of this time to prepare yourselves that you will have everything in order for the upcoming November 4th election. That will conclude our announcements for this morning. Dr. Erskine R. Weaver, who departed this life September 19, 2017. Dedication requested by the Weaver family. A living memory of Miss Darnetta Stembridge Butts, who departed this life September 20, 2018. Dedication requested by the Butts and Stembridge family. A loving member of Mrs. Demetrius Ramsey, who departed this life September 23, 2000. Who would have celebrated her birthday September 28th. Dedication requested by the Montfrey family. A loving member, Mr. Jerry Lee Grant, who would have celebrated his birthday September 29th. Dedication requested by his beloved wife, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and the entire family. A loving member, Mrs. Pauline Mayweather, who departed this life September 30th, 2001. Dedication requested by her beloved sister, Deaconess Carrie Brooks. A loving member, Mr. H.H. Dembry, who departed this life September 30th, 2012. Dedication requested by the Dembry family. Gone but not forgotten. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following. Happy 44th anniversary to Mr. Willie King and Ms. Lindale Westbrook, who are celebrating their anniversary today, September 28th. Dedication requested by their children.
Westbrook and the entire Westbrook and Roundtree family. Happy anniversary to Mr. Deacon Michael and Dr. Latricia Williams, who will celebrate their anniversary Tuesday, September 30th. Dedication requested by the Fletcher and Williams family. God bless each of your unions and keep it strong. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following. Happy birthday to Miss Chrisanna Jones, who celebrated her birthday Monday, September 22nd. Happy birthday to our own Stuart Lonnie Barrett, who celebrated his birthday Tuesday, September 23rd. Dedication requested by the Barrett family and the management and staff of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Happy birthday to Mr. Tyrone Johnson, who celebrated his birthday Saturday, September 27th. Dedication requested by his beloved mother, Mrs. Annette Stembridge. Happy birthday to Miss Shanice McGill, who is celebrating her birthday today, September 28th. Dedication requested by her husband, Deacon Sammy McGill, all of the children, grandchildren, the Parker and McGill family, and the members of the Mount Moriah Baptist Church, which she serves as Deaconess. Happy birthday to Miss Gail Chanel, who will celebrate her birthday Wednesday, October 1st. Dedication requested by her family. And happy birthday to Miss Otha Simmons, who will celebrate her birthday Thursday, October 2nd. Dedication requested by her children, grandchildren, and the entire family. It is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcement. Deacon Marcus Christopher Limbrick, age 64, 502 Sheffield Street, Americus, Georgia, died Sunday, September 21st at his residence in Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Deacon Marcus Christopher Limbrick, age 64, will be held today, Sunday, September 28th at 2 p.m. graveside at the Eastview Cemetery Pavilion in Americus, Georgia. His beloved daughter, Prophetess Demetrius Williams, will officiate. Mr. Hollis Douglas Sr., age 81, 1420 Norris Street, Americus, Georgia, died Thursday, September 26th at his residence in Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Hollis Douglas Sr., age 81, will be held on Thursday, October 2nd at 1 p.m. in the sanctuary of the Antioch Baptist Church in Americus, Georgia. The pastor, Reverend Ricky Cladd, will officiate. The burial will follow at the Eastview Cemetery in Americus, Georgia. The public visitation will be on Wednesday, October 1st, from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Alexander Demetrius Carter, age 55, of 227 Pine Street, Atlanta, Georgia, died Sunday, September 21st at the Piedmont Atlanta Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Alexander Demetrius Carter, age 55, will be held on Saturday, October 4th at 10 a.m. in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia, with the minister selected officiating. The burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public visitation will be Friday, October 3rd, from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Dwayne Hardeman Sr., age 48, of 306 West 17th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Wednesday, September 24th at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Dwayne Hardeman senior, age 48, will be held Saturday, October 4th at 1 p.m. in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. The Reverend Isaac H. Owens, pastor of the Mount Calvary Baptist Church, will officiate. The burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public visitation will be Friday, October 3rd from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Jacarius LeSavion Finn, age 23, of Kathleen, Texas, formerly of Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, September 23rd. The funeral service for Mr. Jacarius LeSavion Finn, age 23, will be held Saturday, October 4th at 4 p.m. in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia, with the minister selected officiating. The burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public visitation will be on Friday, October 3rd, from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Bobby Lee Kelly, age 63, of 1121 East 8th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, September 15th at Atrium Health Navison in Macon, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Bobby Lee Kelly, age 63, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Oscar Charles Green, age 71, of Bentonville, Arkansas, formerly of Cordele, Georgia, died Saturday, September 27th at the St. Luke Hospital in Kansas City, Missouri. The funeral service for Mr. Oscar Charles Green will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangement. The J.W. Williams funeral directors serving Cordele and Vienna are in charge of each of these arrangements during this week. Our program this morning is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones were laid to rest during the past week. The family of Evangelist Melda Wazette Bass of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Miss Doretha Reese Whitehead of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Miss Jeanette Lowe Morgan of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Miss Sonia Latron Green of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Miss Louise Johnson Hill of Cordele, Georgia. This selection is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones will be laid to rest during this week. The family of Deacon Marcus Christopher Limbrick of Cordele, Georgia, of Americus, Georgia. Family of Mr. Jacarius LeSavion Finn of Texas and Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Bobby Lee Kelly of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Oscar Charles Green of Bentonville, Arkansas, and Cordele, Georgia. This election is dedicated to all of the sick and shut-in, to all patients in the local and surrounding hospitals, nursing homes, and rehabilitation centers, to our beloved ministers and our devoted family members, to all retired educators, to the men and women serving in armed forces, both stateside and abroad, to all veterans, and to everyone who listens to our program on each Sunday morning. It's a pleasure for us to bring it to you. Our program goes out in memory of our past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams, to my wife, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, to my son, Jai Wilkerson Parker. This selection goes out to my brother, retired Chief Master Sergeant Norman F. Dexter, his wife, Dr. Gwendolyn Maxine Dexter, and our grandson, Noble. Goes out to my sister, Mrs. Patsy Jackson, her husband, Mr. Jim Jackson of Cordele, Georgia. to my nephew, Deacon Kenneth Smith, Program Chairman of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Baptist Church, to our pastor, Dr. K.M. Williams, pastor of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Baptist Church and moderator of the Gum Creek Missionary Baptist Association. Goes out to his wife, Sister Kathy Williams, and family. Goes out to our dear friend and brother, long-standing, the Reverend Johnny Dean, pastor of the New Poplar Spring Baptist Church of Byronville, Georgia. Goes out to our dear friend and brother, Deacon Jimmy Charles Mumphrey, and his wife, Sister Carol Mumphrey, and to his pastor, the Reverend Nelson Maynard, and the members of the Crossroads Baptist Church here in Cordele, Georgia. This election goes out to Mr. Cleveland R. Lemon, the oldest staff member of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home, and our beloved Mrs. Easter May Sanders of Cordele, Georgia. This election goes out to Mother Mary, Mother Willie Mae Leary and family of Hatley, Georgia, Mrs. Maddie Peavin family, the Reverend Freddie Peavin family, Miss Sidney Ruff and family, and to each of you who listen to our program and enjoy it on each Sunday morning. It's a pleasure for us to bring it to you. Program goes out to Mrs. Bernice Lester and family, and to each of you this fourth Sunday in the month of September 2025. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you've enjoyed our program. Tune in again on next Sunday morning. Remember, in your time of need, contact the competent, capable, and dependable staff at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home.